Okay, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. Her name is Brooke Orchard. She's been a coach for 2 years and 9 months. She is currently a lifetime 5-star diamond, but in qualification as a 7-star diamond. She is an SC10 legend for 33 months, so that's pretty much the whole time she's been a coach. She has 11 lifetime diamonds, and currently she is ranked number 47 out of all 400,000 coaches in the network. How amazing is that, you guys? She's expecting her second baby, and she's going to be talking to us about building your dream team. So come on up, Brooke.
Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be here. Anybody else freezing still? I can't feel my 2 toes on my foot. But anyway, so I was really excited when Courtney said, or asked everybody to raise their hand who was a new coach in here. And there's a lot of new coaches. Raise your hands again. Awesome, that's so exciting. So I'll never forget in January 2015 when it was my first Super Saturday. And I remember sitting in the crowd, being really nervous but really excited, and I remember thinking, I'm going to be up on this stage someday. I remember watching a top coach, telling her story, giving trainings, and I put it on my vision board that day that I was going to be up here. And so it's so surreal being up here, speaking to all of you and looking into the sea of faces. So really, really excited. I am a wife of 3 years. We're celebrating our 3-year anniversary in 3 days. And he's right here in the front row. I am a boy mom. He's 14 months old, and I'm 23 weeks pregnant with our daughter, due in January. And I'm a former speech therapist. I was a speech therapist for about 4 years, and recently became a full-time Beachbody coach as of April of this year. So yeah, I was a gymnast my entire life, so I kind of had this perfectionist mindset. I did that for about 10 years and went to college. And once I went to college, I just kind of lost my structure. I didn't really have that team feel anymore. And I would aimlessly go to the gym. I would, lift the dumbbells, didn't really know what I was doing. I ran my heart out just because I didn't know what else to do. And I even signed up for a half marathon because I'm crazy. And ran that. And I, did fine, but I lost that passion for fitness. And 2011 came around. I got accepted into grad school, and I gained 15 pounds in 3 months. I felt so sluggish and fluid, and I lacked that confidence. And I was in an unhealthy relationship as well, and so it kind of stole my focus a lot. And right after Thanksgiving ended in 2011, I found P90X, and I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know it was Beachbody, but I decided that enough was enough. I needed to do something. I was sick of going to the gym for 2 hours, not knowing what I was doing. So I started that and crushed it in 90 days. I should have put a picture up for you guys. It was crazy. My body was so different than even in gymnastics, and I remember feeling so on fire and energetic and just so happy, and I didn't even know this coaching thing existed. And I wanted to share it with the world. I wanted other people to experience what I was feeling. And so I posted my transformation pictures on Facebook, which is crazy to me looking back, but I wanted people to start this thing. And people were messaging me like crazy, like, what are you doing? I want to do what you're doing. And I was telling them, basically being a coach already, and I had this girl message me, and she was like, hey, you should really be a coach. And I'm like, scam. Thanks, but no thanks. And I killed her with kindness, but I just kindly declined. And then one of my best friends came to me, I think a month later or within a couple weeks, and she was like, Brooke, this thing is legit. I'm a coach. You should seriously do it. And so I started, and I did coaching for about 3 months. This was in 2012. And like I said, I was in an unhealthy relationship in grad school. I had the I'm too busy excuse. I'm in an unhealthy relationship. That should have my focus. And I fizzled out of the business. I don't even remember quitting. It just kind of went away. And to this day, it's the biggest regret of my life is quitting Beachbody. So I was a quitter. And I quit for 2 years. I became Beachbody's biggest naysayer, actually. Even though I continued to do the workouts for 2 years. I love their programs, but I was the type of person who thought that I could go out and find cheaper and just as good a quality as Shakeology. So that's what I did. I went and tried different things for a couple of years. And I did not find it, obviously. I did not find anything that equaled to be what Shakeology was. So I came back. After I graduated grad school, I moved to Arizona to be with Mike, and my parents lived here, so it was kind of an easy move for me. I started speech therapy, I got married, and started my life. But then it was about a year later that I felt different. Like I felt like there was a void in my life, and that was the same exact time that the $50,000 worth of student loan debt came crushing down on me for my master's program. And I remember crying to Mike in my bathroom one day saying, I just feel like I'm missing something in my life, and I didn't know what it was. And I felt fulfilled with this, speech therapy. I felt like I was making an impact, but I felt like I could do more. And I missed my friends from back home, moving away from Minnesota, coming to Arizona. I was there for 26 years. All my best friends were up there. And so I wanted to feel like I was connected to something and like I was included in something down here. And so, for 2 years, my former coach, who was still in Beachbody, I was continuously watching her, just like we all did. We were watching our upline coach and being like, ugh, her posts are kind of annoying, in like a good way, but I kind of went through this process of, oh, it's annoying, and then I got jealous, and then I became more open-minded, especially as my life events and my life circumstances started to change and evolve. And it was at that time that I felt like I needed something more. My $50,000 of student loan debt came crushing down on me. I got mad. I really feel like you have to get emotional about your journey before you start something, because that's what engages, especially us women, to get started. And that's what happened to me. I got mad at my situation. I was like, I am not going to sit here and work my butt off and pay for student loans for the rest of my life, or at least for the next 10 plus years. And so I was also inconsistent with my fitness. I was up and down, on for 2 weeks, off for 2 weeks or a month, and I was sick of that. And so, also in my speech therapy job, I was working 10-plus-hour days some days. It was feast or famine. So I got paid hourly. If the work was there, I got paid. If it wasn't, I didn't get paid. And so I was mentally drained. I loved the field, and I still do to this day. But for me, I knew that there had to be something more. I knew that if there was a way that I could be my own boss, then awesome. And I was sick of asking off work when I worked my butt off to get those PTO days. So at the time when I first joined Beachbody, I was nervous because Mike was unemployed at the time. And so for me, instead of looking at it as I can't afford this, I looked at it as I can't afford not to do this. And I used that as fuel to my fire, that I needed this to work. This was my plan A, even though it was my plan B. And so I, dove back in with a fear of, what if people notice that I had quit before? What are they going to say when I jump back into this thing? And that's what I was really nervous about. I was nervous that I wouldn't have time with my speech therapy job. And I was also nervous of being a salesperson. So those were kind of like my 3 biggest things. But I went in with this 150% mindset. Like I was in this for the long haul, and that I wasn't quitting. I had a taste of the Beachbody culture before. I knew it rocked my socks off, and I wasn't going to give up on this time. And so going back into it, I haven't looked back ever since that day. And no one noticed that I quit. No one said anything when I came back, and so I rock that story. I'm not fearful saying that I quit and I've come back. So now, 2 years and 9 months later, I've retired from speech therapy as of April. Mike and I built our dream home a couple of years back, and I was able to quit my speech therapy job and be with my son his first year of life, and I will with our daughter as well. And even this summer, we were able to just pick up and travel to visit Mike's family in Iowa for 10 days, and it felt so good to not have to ask anybody permission to go and ask off for those days, to go and spend time with family. I'm surrounded by quality friends and changing lives every single day in this. So physically, emotionally, and financially, I'm in the best state of my life. And before, I was the most pessimistic, closed-minded, stubborn person. I'm still stubborn, but I know that if I can do this, anybody can do this because of the mindset that I had before. So I want to really dive into building your dream team because I'm really passionate about this topic. I don't think that a lot of us want to work for commission the rest of our lives. Let's just get real. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I dove into this, money was a huge motivating factor, but I knew that if I was helping other people change their lives, there was nothing selfish about that, putting my financial needs along with helping other people. So I wrote some of this out as my toddler was having numerous meltdowns, the past month, so that's a little insight into my life, just how you kind of have to juggle life and balance things out. So I want to give you concrete information that you can use, but I also want to help gear your mindset towards what you need to know and the type of positive mindset that you need to get through this and to build a strong team. So I have index cards because I'm pregnant and mom brain. It's really hard. So, first slide here, vital process. I remember hearing this on the National Wake Up Call, and I thought, oh my gosh, that is it. Just like we have vital behaviors, we have a vital process. And if you follow this process, it's very simple to duplicate to your team, and as well as stay consistent in your business. So first, you need to find people to work with. It starts with the vital process. Invite them after a relationship is built or that trust is built, ideally. And number 2, get them physical and mental results in a challenge group. You guys, this is huge. I don't know about you, but when I started my business, I personally was not doing personal development. I was learning about the business, but I was not gearing my mindset with personal development books and podcasts to fix what was going on up here. And we all know that our challengers have a lot going on up here. And the past 6 months, I have had my challengers implement personal development into their lives, and they've said, Brooke, this is a game changer. So if you do not make personal development a requirement, do it. It will change your business. And I'm sure you guys have heard the stat that 70% of diamond coaches come from challenge groups. That's huge to me. I've learned that people really need to experience the challenge groups and get a feel for what they're like, and then start coaching. Number 3, get them started with coaching, and then 4, teach them how to do the same thing, and then simply rinse and repeat. Don't overcomplicate the process. So different ways to find people and add to your network. I personally do free marketing. So there's a lot of coaches that do paid ads and boosted ads on like pages. I do have a like page. But I kind of do the unsexy hard work. So, like I said, if I can do this, anybody can do this. I've done a couple paid boosted ads, but for me, what I've been doing has been working. So, I feel like, especially as a new coach, it's important to not be throwing your money into something when you have free marketing at your fingertips. And I find people through Facebook groups with common interests. So everybody has their own story, their own niche. And I'm a mom, for example, so I'm in a lot of groups that are geared towards moms because I relate best to them and they relate best to me. Instagram, based off of hashtags related to your niche and your interests. This has been something new that I've done that's really been a game changer because you're finding people that are just like you. And I recommend to not use other hashtags or hashtags that other Beachbody coaches are using, because you're just going to attract Beachbody coaches, and that's not the point, right? You don't want to attract Beachbody coaches, you want to attract prospects. So people following me on Instagram stories, also use location and hashtags. This is really going to get more people to watch your stuff, and this is going to make it easy for you to reach out and engage with them because they're already following you. This has been a new thing that I've been doing the past couple of months, and it's worked really, really well. Instagram is like the new thing for me. I built like 90 to 100% of my business on Facebook the last 2 years and 9 months. So I'm always going to be on Facebook, but I'm really trying to do both now because I feel like I'm at that point that I can balance it out. So people who like and comment on your posts, that's really important because they're already following you. So they're already there for you to just simply reach out and thank them for their support and ask them if they're on a health and fitness journey or if they're a coach themselves. Free groups is a great way for some coaches to add to your network. I have done a few free groups. I personally don't enjoy them, so I don't do them. But a lot of coaches find success with that, so kudos to you. Keep it up if that's what you enjoy and you find new people through that platform. So the way to do this is for free groups, like when you do your call to action posts on your statuses, is tell your friends to tag other friends in that status to help get people to your page and add them as friends on Facebook and reach out to them. So that's a great way to get your friends' into your circle. I'm going to make a little note here. Be careful of suggested friends, mutual friends that Facebook gives you. First year of my business, this is going to sound ridiculous to some of you, and you're going to think, Brooke, were you not thinking? So the first year of my business, I would go to my Facebook friends and look at their friends and add people who had 15 plus mutual friends in common with me. But what I didn't think about was, okay, that person who I'm looking at, they might be my future prospect, so I'm inundating their inner circle. So it's going to kick you in the butt later on if you do that, trust me. So just make sure you're careful about Facebook, giving you suggested friends. You want to make sure that they're not friends with other coaches in your team or that you know of. This is huge, you guys. Key to adding a rock-solid foundation of rock stars to your network and downline. This has been something that I have been implementing the last 6 months or so, and this has absolutely changed my business, and it's made me more passionate and love it even more. So I look for 10s, and that's going to be different for everybody, but you need to be adding people who are kind of like those qualities. Those are qualities that I'm looking for in a coach. So hardworking, positive, self-motivators, tenacious, goal setters, go-getters, independent, resourceful, open-minded, coachable, consistent, patient, inner and outer beauty. But here's the key, you guys. If you are not seeing yourself as a 10, if you don't have confidence in yourself, you're not going to be able to attract other people who are just as confident as you are. And so it's all about that attraction, right? And so you want to make sure that you're screening people's profiles or their Instagrams and looking at their pictures, looking at their wall, their statuses. What kind of things are they saying? Are they someone that you would want in your inner circle? Are they a positive person? Because I added so many negative people to my network my first year, where now I look at my wall sometimes or my news feed, and I'm like, can I seriously add that person? They must have been my first year ad because it's crazy. So it will change the game. Everything has a domino effect in this business, good or bad. If you're adding people to your network who don't relate to you or they're a negative person, they're going to add more negative people. And it's just this ripple effect of negativity. So you have to be really, really, really picky about who you're adding to your network, therefore inviting to the process and recruiting to your team. And make sure you're leveling up so that you see yourself as a 10, as a 15-star diamond, whatever that looks like for you. And truly, you guys, what I have found is that if you're afraid to invite to this opportunity, then that means you need to start being product of the product and sharing your Beachbody fitness journey, about your Shakeology, your personal journey, and gain belief in that journey so that you have the confidence to share that with other people. It all starts with belief. You have to have that belief in the opportunity. And also within yourself. So if you don't have confidence within yourself or belief within yourself, that tells you that personal development is going to be your best friend. So make sure you're giving this business time. You have to have time to grow yourself as a person and physically on the outside too with the products and the opportunity. So to kind of talk more about the adding tens to your network, I actually heard this on Christine Dwyer's podcast, and I can't remember the episode name, so it's on Platinum Edge Presenters. She has a ton of them, but I just remember that absolutely changing my life these past 6 months, so go check that out. So inviting to coaching, here's numerous ways to invite to coaching. Private message invites, for me, are absolutely vital. A lot of this business is going on behind the scenes. And this is a us going to people business, as well as a people coming to us business. But I would say 90% of the people that I work with are people that I invite in private message. So you cannot be afraid to be inviting people in private message. Call to action invites on social media 3 to 4 times per week using hard and soft invites. So I don't know if you guys know what hard or soft invites really means, so I'll kind of break it down. But hard invites are more of those like, boom, join me posts. Like, this is what I struggled with before, this is how it's benefiting me now, and how they can do this too. Where soft invites are more like, I'm posting a picture of you and saying grateful for being able to pick up and leave for 10 days to visit family without answering to anybody. Like, that's an example of a post that I posted this summer when I went to visit Mike's parents in Iowa. So kind of inviting people all the time. Always doing call to actions in some way, shape, or form, whether it be vague or more direct. Invite anyone who expresses a need to you in private message or on their status. So, someone who wants to pay off debt or be a stay-at-home mom. When I'm talking to people in private message, I am not a fan of small talk. I'm not a fan of, oh, how was your weekend? I want to get to know people. I want to get to know their dreams and their goals and their current life, if they enjoy what they do. Because if they verbalize to me something that, maybe they hate their job or they just don't know about this opportunity that's available to them, I'm going to say, like, girl, you got to be a part of this, So I always put that in my little memory bank when people say those things to me. Retelling your story a million times, that's so important because as you're adding to your network, you're getting new people to watch your story. You're kind of building your audience as you're adding to your network. And so I actually had a girl who wasn't friends with me, but somehow she magically was following me for a long time, and she was one of my naysayers who was like, gosh, why do you tell your story a million times? I'm so sick of hearing it. And that tells me I'm doing it right. Like, anytime you have a naysayer like that, don't let it get you down. Be like, all right, I know I'm doing the right thing. Because just because that person saw it 5 million times does not mean that someone else did. It might be someone else's first time hearing your story. So, tell it a million times, unapologetically. If they liked a coaching post or call to action post, invite them to the business. So, I love thanking people for supporting me on my fitness journey and, asking them if they've thought about doing what I would do and that they would love it too. And you get what you talk about and what you ask for. So, if you're only talking about challenge groups and, all that, the fitness side of things, but you're not talking about the business opportunity, you are only going to get challengers. You have to be talking about the big and small victories, the financial opportunity, the emotional aspect, the positive community of Beachbody, if you want to attract people to the business. And offer it to everybody. Do not prejudge. Obviously, with my previous slide, you want to make sure that you are kind of prejudging a little bit. You're filtering out people you want in your network, but ultimately you should not deprive anybody of this amazing gift. And one thing I really like to do is using voice message in Facebook Messenger. And even a 15-second video clip. I love doing this with my challengers. I love to just have that more personal connection. And people really love it too. They tell me that that's what makes me stick out to any, versus any other coach that they've ever talked to. So key to a successful invite, a lot of these quotes that I'm getting are from John C. Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Super good book. You guys, this is another key thing I want you to write down. Like this, I've been teaching this to my team like crazy the last 6 months. I would say the last 6 months of my business, I've just learned so much with what to do in my business differently with recruiting to this opportunity. So it's all about simplicity and your attitude. You have to portray confidence and passion and enthusiasm, because if you don't have confidence or belief in what you're doing or yourself, why would anyone else have confidence in themselves or you or this opportunity? So I used to be more of the timid coach. I used to be, asking people versus telling them. And that kind of goes on to my next statement. Confident statement versus timid question when it comes to invites. So saying, girl, you are doing amazing in the challenge group, or, sorry, I work with women personally, but so change it, obviously, depending on who you're talking to. You need to be a coach on my team, ... whatever you want to say. Versus, hey girl, have you ever considered, it just sounds more timid, and I used to be that person who would say, have you ever considered, where now I tell them they need to be a coach. Like, they need to join this opportunity because they'd be awesome and they would love it. So that's huge. Underline that. Tell, don't ask. Make the invite short and sweet, and be direct versus beating around the bush. I don't think the average person wants to read a huge novel about why they should join your challenge group and all the details going into it. So just be very direct. Use emojis, exclamation marks, and energy. That's huge. And I kind of giggle at this all the time because some people on my team, or just in general, especially new coaches, they'll say, well, that doesn't really sound like me. And the tough love side of me kind of just wants to be like, you need to maybe change your personality a little bit and be a little bit more happy. I don't know. Because if you're boring, if you're just blah, no one's going to want to join you. I'm sorry, but they're not. So, add energy, add smiley faces, emojis, exclamation marks, because it matters. It really, really does. And earth-shattering information, you guys, will not matter if you are not convincing in your tone. Because when you speak with heart, passion, confidence, belief, you touch people's hearts. And for us women, we are driven by emotion. So women will not join me if I'm, telling them the facts. I have to get to know their pain and pleasure points. I have to know why they want to be motivated to start this journey and what's going to keep them going. What motivates them personally. It's going to be different from what motivates me. And for example, last night I had one of my girls who I invited to coaching who said she wanted to start coaching, a year plus ago, and she still hasn't started. I brought her into the Coach Sneak Peek this past week, and she told her goals in the Coach Sneak Peek, and she wants this. But she's saying, well, I'm going back to work part-time next week, and yada, 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 all these excuses, right? We all know that someday equals never for most people. And instead of being like, okay, girl, that's okay, let's connect in a month or two like I used to be, I say, girl, I know you can do this. It's going to be so tough. It's going to be hard work. But here's the thing. I'm in your corner. I'm going to help you every step of the way. I've gone through this personally. I will help you learn how to manage time and juggle this business. So I know you can do that. And just telling them directly and being confident, because that is going to change someone's life. If you sit back and let them give in to their self-limiting beliefs, I think that's doing a huge disservice to people. There's a huge difference between being pushy and being direct and confident with yourself and the belief in this. I've had numerous coaches tell me, Brooke, thank you for being persistent with me. Thank you for not giving up on me, and thank you for pushing me to achieve the goals that I kept on putting off. So do not ever feel like you are being pushy. You kind of have to be aggressive in that way a little bit. but obviously be a kind person. Different ways to recruit coaches. Current challengers, invite them, and previous challengers. So my goal is to recruit about 10 to 20 coaches each month. So whether that be for the discount, active business building would be preferable. That is my goal. I found that anything less than that is just hard to get the business moving in the direction and the pace that I want to reach my goals. So also, it's so vital, you guys, to not let your challengers fall off the wagon. Make sure they are getting enrolled from group to group to group. I made the mistake. I made a lot of mistakes my first year. If you're noticing that, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. I was really bad at getting people rolled over from group to group. Ideally, we would love people to start coaching after their first month, but that's just not the way it goes sometimes. I've had girls who have been doing groups for a month straight and now, or a year straight, and now they're ready to start coaching. So they have to build that confidence in each group, and they start to see how easy it is or how simple it is that they can duplicate what I'm doing in the challenge groups as well. So make sure they are getting rolled over from group to group. Have them get signed up as a discount coach when they buy a challenge pack for your challenge group for the second month's discount, so just discount coach opportunity. I get them added to my team page. So any discount coach that signs up, even if they say, I don't want to work the business ever or anytime soon, whatever, I say, that's okay, girl. I want to give you the same opportunity that I give any of my other coaches, and I'm going to add you to my team page so you can see what our team culture is like, so that you have the same opportunity to start this whenever you want. There's a structured process, so if you're ready to run with this thing, just let me know and I'll help you. And it's kind of cute because I have a lot of girls who will message me out of the blue and be like, okay, I completed the new coach checklist and I've been creeping your files and oh my gosh, I love your team. I need to do this. And if I didn't add them to the team page, they wouldn't have seen that. So it's very important for me, I think, to get discount coaches added to your team page. Because they're watching. They're watching from the sidelines. Post a live coach sneak peek every month. Live is key, I think. Going over what coaching is. I promote this through a public event page to raise awareness and through my social media posts, so constantly talking about it, doing those hard and soft invites. You could run this coach sneak publicly on your like page. You could do it in a public event page, in a private 3, 4, 5-day group going live each day. You do a 1-day, 2-day. Those are things I've all done. Recently, what I did this past month, actually this past week, with my team is we did a 3-day live coach sneak peek in a private group. And what's nice about this is that we are going to keep this group open and leave those people in there so that every month they stay in there and they get numerous exposures to our live videos and we get new people added. So this month we had 150 girls in there, and next month it's just going to grow and grow, and those same girls will stay in there unless they remove themselves. So we delete those videos and make new ones and go live every single month. And I am going to be picking about like 1 to 2 coaches to run that with me every single month. So that's building their leadership skills and their confidence skills as well. So that's huge, doing coach sneak peeks. I get a lot of people, even if they have to watch 3 times, it gives them the confidence to join because they're inspired by my passion. Sharing your social media about the coaching opportunity and how coaching has changed your life and the biggest and smallest of wins, followed by call to action. So it's important that you're motivating and inspiring people, but if you're not following that status up with a call to action, you're missing the boat. Your goal is to get people to take action, right? You're not just a motivator. You're someone who engages people to start taking action. So also share not only your wins, but your coaches' wins, your challengers' wins, so that you're showing people that you're not just creating success for yourself, you're creating success for other people. Oh my. Side note. Oh my gosh, what's on my mind? Just webinar, you guys, and get them on the phone. So let's say, right now, my Coach Sneak Peek has ended. And so I'm going to be inviting people to coach me in this, these next few weeks before my next Coach Sneak Peek starts next month. So I have a pre-recorded live video that I did during a Coach Sneak Peek that I uploaded to my YouTube channel. And I send that to my prospects, and I get them on the phone. I think it's important to be picky, with your time. It's important to be adding people to your network who are 10s, so that when you do send them a webinar and get them on the phone, you have that confidence that they're your person. So, they feel your emotion when you get them on the phone. And this one's big. I know this is a big objection. This is something that a lot of people feel when they start. They think that everyone has a coach to work with. You guys, the market is not saturated. As long as people are continuing to be born and get older, we always have people to work with. Timing matters. See everyone as a no, or as a not right now versus a solid no. Not everyone has heard of Beachbody or done it. And your twin will always connect with you. Your ability to stay consistent and be genuine and real makes you stand out. I have people tell me that they've followed top 10 coaches, but they chose to work with me because of how their story relates to me versus a top 10 coach that they followed. And you guys, look at those numbers. United States, Canada, and now UK. That's 426.5 million people to work with. There are endless amounts of people to work with in this business. And it's a numbers game. Just remember that you cannot be emotionally connected to the outcome. And if you are, that tells you that you're not inviting enough people. So just remember that. And remember that 90% of people are going to tell you not right now. 10% will be maybes or yeses, but they eventually do join on. So I know I have like a minute left. So yeah, you guys, I just wanted to wrap that up and let you know to just be picky, be confident, be direct with your invites and objections that people give you. Do not give up and keep going, and just remember that your dream team is waiting for you to go out and find them. Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, you guys, that was awesome. Hopefully you guys got some great takeaways and took some pictures of her awesome slides. So,